Welcome back to Freakier Things. My name is Quick, and today we have a story from Brian T. So remember, if you like these kind of videos, like, subscribe, and share. It helps me more than you know. So let's get into it. It was a hot summer day, and the temperature was soaring above 105 degrees. My brother begged me, my mom, and my two sisters to go to the Comal River to escape the summer heat. My mom now, she wasn't thrilled about the idea, but she understood the kids wanted to get out of that unbearable Texas heat, and also the water would make a big difference. So we went down to the Comal River near New Braunfels, Texas. Now, in short, hundreds and probably even thousands of teens would swarm over the fence and ignore the warning signs of dangers there. Some kids just jumped over the bridge into the river. It was about 20 feet or more. The heat was so terrible. Could you imagine just walking on that super hot sidewalk, but times it by 2? It was miserable. Now, the current in that river, back when I was 10 years old, was no joke. You could fall in and disappear really quickly. So when I was swimming around in there, I kind of got separated and I swam towards the side to the ladder to get out. I looked for my brothers and sisters, but I didn't have any luck. I walked farther down by a small dam, looking less dangerous than the first one I saw. I decided to walk over to that dam, which was flowing pretty heavily. The water falling down about 4 to 6 feet, I believe. As I walked along the side, I slipped and fell back into the water because of the slippery algae below my feet. Now, I was a rather excellent swimmer, so I didn't panic, but I was very aware about the dangers. I went down the waterfall, and I tried to fight the current to break myself free. I got caught by the undertow and tried to swim out, but I didn't know which way was up, down, left, or even right. I panicked, and I was scared. I didn't know what was happening to me. I screamed in the water for help, but my thoughts were on my mother and family. As water filled my mouth, I stopped breathing. My body felt cold, and my brain closed down on me. Blackness covered everything around me. I realized that the door to life was closing. My body said, "Is this it? This is death." Then I blacked out. Then the strangest thing started happening. It was like a little trickle of electricity starting at my feet, working its way all around my body. And then right away, my life was shown in a flash in front of my eyes, like a movie, rolling on year by year by year by year. Now the first flash was actually my favorite. It was when I was born and I saw my mother's face for the first time. I didn't realize how much love my mom had for me. And then the second flash, I was playing with my brothers and sisters, and the closeness I felt with them, it was amazing. And then the third flash, it was my father throwing me up in the air, and we laughed. Then it started to go faster and faster, and I saw stars bursting all over my head and body. I don't know how to explain it. It was unreal. Then I saw a light at the end of the tunnel burst towards me, like I was traveling to it, but it was coming to me at the same time. My spirit or soul was caught up in this tunnel. I could still remember this feeling even today. The only description I can give you of this feeling was like the movie Contact. The actress, when she went through the tunnel and she could see outside space by her ball space shuttle, that's what I saw when I zoomed through this tunnel. I could see some universe by the tunnel's transparency. Such an awesome feeling flying through that tunnel at light speed. And then I arrived at this boundary, and I could feel the weight of stress in the world just lift off my shoulders. And I couldn't help but think about how many ridiculous rules or laws being imposed upon us people. For the first time, I realized how much baggage we had from the government and churches, and at the same time, it felt like all the knowledge of the universe was just flowing at my body, like a hurricane drawing energy towards the eye of the storm. It was almost the same feeling as drawing all knowledge and consciousness of real beings into my body and mind. Now, because of this, I knew, even at 10 years old, that if I crossed this boundary, I could never come back. Period. But I was more than thrilled to cross. I intended to cross. But my ancestors, over on the other side of the boundary, they were talking in telepathy, which really caught my attention. Because, you see, I was born profoundly deaf, and all my family members could hear. Now, while I was there, I was communicating telepathically, like I said, with like 20 different family members all at the same time. I could not believe how many people I could talk to through that method simultaneously. Now I could see the landscape and buildings. It wasn't built by people, but obviously some kind of supernatural builder. The megacity in the middle was also so perfect and flawless. One of my grandmothers, or great-grandmothers, or even great-great-grandmothers was surprised and puzzled that I arrived at this boundary. All of them. They all seemed surprised. They weren't expecting me at all. but they opened their arms, gesturing me to come over. One of my ancestors said, "Why is he here? Is he supposed to be here now?" As he was talking to others, I'm surprised too. I thought his time was in the short future, but not now. Another jumped in radiantly, full of love and joy to see my presence, and opened my eyes to a new future. I cannot even describe in words what I saw. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss of words. And then suddenly, an angel appeared and questioned me, "What are you doing here?" I was shocked, but I knew this was my guardian angel. I knew he was there when my mother gave birth to me, and he shared in that joy. I really looked up to him. I felt so close to him, but he pushed me like one step away. He asked me telepathically, "What happened?" I did not care what happened. I was fulfilled and bursting with love and joy. I wanted to go over the boundary. My angel stopped me and looked at me. He knew I drowned. I was shocked that he knew that just by looking at me. Then he said to me, "Your time is not up now. You have some unfinished business to do. Go back." At first I shrugged, and then I tried to sneak by him. He moved like lightning and put his hands out to block me. I felt my body being pulled back at incredible speed. The light of the tunnel zoomed past my eyes, and I was slapped back in my body with such force. I felt my body once again, and I was puzzled, like, why am I in my body? I shot awake, and I realized I was still in the water, and I thought I actually breathed in the water, which wasn't the case. I heard a voice then, "Stand straight, firmly." Without any question, I straightened my body, and I felt this hand wrap around my body, and it pulled me out of the current. And the hand pulled me to the edge of the water where I can get control. And when I got out of the water and I was finally on land, it felt like water was just pouring out of me. I didn't believe how much water got into me, or even how much got out. My life and perspective has changed after that. As I coughed up water, I could feel shocks like I was being reborn. For every mouthful of water I could spit out, it filled me with love and hope for all the people and nature around me. I never told my mother, brother, or sisters what I experienced. Something deep inside me reminded me to keep silent about that whole thing. All I felt was a more enlightening feeling unfolding all around me. You might say it would be an incredible experience, but that doesn't justify it. I felt like I was standing right in front of the Twilight door, and then the 6th or 7th dimension door was unfolding right in front of me. I had many visions, dreams. Some of them are pleasant, some of them are terrifying, but I'll stop here. By the way, my parents and my sisters found out about my experience when I was 31 years old. I just felt the timing was right to break the news. My mother was so shocked and it really hit her hard. My sisters looked at me and then ran over to hug me. She could not imagine a life without me, and I just smiled. Now, thanks for listening to this NDE. I want to know what you think in the comments below. Was Brian's experience a near-death experience, or more of just a blackout moment? You tell me. And don't forget, you can show your support at anchor.fm/freakierthings. It helps more than you know. And until next time, live long and stay strong.